Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. This is Rachel Kirkland here, the Modern Shaman. If you are new or a first time viewer, welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that jazz. This is a beautiful community of people here. And if you're new and haven't checked out my website, I always recommend that you do that just to find out kind of what I'm about and what services I offer. Besides this weekly Q&A where you guys send in questions and I just answer them, I offer one-on-one sessions and teaching in terms of psychic development, as well as healings, all sorts of available information that are on my website, and that's at themodernshaman.net. Okay, so let's get on with the question of the week. Here it is. This came in, I think, through Instagram. And if you're not on my Instagram, also, there's another feed you can connect with, my Facebook feed, my Instagram feed, which is Rachel Kirkland, the Modern Shaman. And then on Facebook, it's just the Modern Shaman. Okay, lots of ways to get connected and find like-minded people. So here's the question. It says, Rachel, for a year now, frequently and regularly, I've been meeting and working energetically with a man I haven't met yet in person, though I know who he is. Recently, it's becoming more intense and messages from dreams are materializing almost instantly. The symbolism is through the roof. Have you covered a topic like this? Please, please. I haven't, so today I am. You're the one. So when dreams have a sense, yeah. Let's talk about dreams a little bit. There's a lot more to dreams than just what typically people think of when they think of dreams. There are our typical dreams that we have where there's a sense of helping us process all of the things that we're going through in our day-to-day life. They are an emotional and a kind of like a database, and they move through kind of like a computer system of a processor, right? And the imagery that we see and the people that we're interacting with are kind of our day-to-day experiences, but on other levels or in different spaces or this type of thing. But they're helping us process a lot of the emotional things that we go through during our lifetime. Then there are visions that we get, right? And these feel different. There's a different density to them. Sometimes they're past life visions and memories where we are first person and we're experiencing something, or sometimes they're third person omniscient and we're viewing it, not in a body, but we're seeing the scene and we're conscious that that is us living something out. These types of visions, they also, when we wake up, we have a sense of like, that meant something. This was purposed. There's meaning behind it. There's a communication energy that comes in telepathically on top of the dream to give a sense of claircognizance, which is like, I know that this meant something to me, right? It's the psychic sense of like knowing. And then there are visitation type of dreams where sometimes this is an escape or an empty space or a construct of spaciousness or timelessness, where you are visited by a being, an ascended master, a past loved one, an ancestor of some sort, and there is direct communication that happens, but the scene or the imagery around you is almost in standstill. It's a time of communication. And these visitations are very different. Sometimes they tell you about the future. Sometimes they give you insight into what you're going through right now. Sometimes they're just to let you know that your loved ones are at peace and are okay. But they almost set up a stationary constructed space to have this sort of interaction in, even though you are quote unquote dreaming or you're sleeping in your physical form. This is a different type of dream space, a different type of interaction that happens here. And then sometimes we have these interdimensional, which you kind of shared about, these interdimensional travels where you're going to an actual place or location, or you're interacting first person, but you may not be, it's you, and you're conscious of you at your level of being, meaning it doesn't feel like a past life. There's not an era or a genre attached to it, but instead you're in a different space and you're interacting with certain individuals or people that have a regularity to them. They have a storyline or a timeline associated with them, as if you're on another planetary existence. Sometimes they do feel like a different planet. Sometimes they feel like a different dimension on this planet or a different timeline on this planet. Or sometimes they feel like constructed, almost like a globe or a spherical space where you're having interaction there in a certain timeline. And there's a regularity, like you know the characters, you know the play, you have interaction, even though you're not in your current form, or sometimes it is your current form or a shift of that form. You may be a little older, a little younger, or look a little different, but the energy is still present. And these are more interdimensional interactions. And when you describe this, to me, this is what you're describing. And I've just had all of these interactions. And there's others, there's many other types, but essentially when you talk about them materializing, this is when the timelines begin to overlap. And this can happen when this is a sort of, not premonition, but a sense of omen, or a sense of bringing something into fruition, or wanting to create something with you here in an interdimensional way or a multidimensional way. So there's a creation on many different levels of the dimensional spaces, and oftentimes this starts in our meditation or our dreamscape space, so that we're able to fully integrate and activate and be present in those multidimensional levels at the higher vibrational state without a sense of restriction from our physical form. And until we vibrationally align with it and it's able to come into a sense of fruition into this space. It doesn't always look exactly the same. In fact, a lot of times it doesn't. But there is a deep sense of recognition, meaning the characters may look a little different than they did in that multidimensional space, in your dream space, when you were regularly interacting with them. Their facial constructs may look different. A lot of times their eyes, or the way that you recognize them through the eyes, the way that you see them, will feel the same. So you will have that sense of recognition, of recognizing that person in real life, even if they look different in the other multidimensional realm. And these are co-creation spaces. So they're creating from that realm, and you're creating from this realm to bring something into fruition. A lot of times this is a deeply cosmic alignment, meaning sometimes there's children. These are relational. When I see these come up, there's multidimensional children coming into play. And when I say children, it's not always material babies. Sometimes it's a mission in life. Sometimes it's a book. It's a creative construct. Sometimes it's an actuality of a plan living out in your life. Sometimes it literally is a relationship and a child. But the dynamics are always multidimensional. So you have to be open to the way that it translates through into your physical life. I don't know, you didn't give a sense of like direct question with it, but one thing I would say is that if this is happening and you have a sense, if you ever have a sense of fear or question or insecurity about what you're interacting with, meaning you feel like you're in over your head, or like, I don't know where I'm going, or I don't have control over these dreams, or this is crazy and whacked out, you can always set a sense of psychic boundary around where you travel at night, where you go in your dream space. And if it is, interacting with other individuals or entities, you can always ask that you only interact with the highest vibrational alignment of these energies, or that all entities must show themselves in their true form when they are interacting with you in a dream. So no sense of shape-shifting, or there's nothing that feels manipulative or could be shifting or could be hidden from you. Oftentimes we feel this because our cognition and our sense of kind of like our left brain systematic, logical way of processing is turned off in a way, and we're moving much more intuitively and integrated. And so the manifestations sometimes can happen so quickly in those other realms, we might feel out of control. And so setting up a sense of boundary for yourself where you feel like, I want to know who I'm interacting with. I want to know that this is their true form, that this is their purest form, that this is in the highest alignment. If that's something that you feel like you need, that can always be really, really helpful in your dream space. And then also, so when you're moving through these phases of sleep, right? Your dream space includes all different brain waves, right? And that alpha, when you first enter, you enter into that alpha brain state, and it's like you can be woken up really quickly. This is a great time to kind of program or set this time of like, this is where I want to go, this is who I want to interact with. That phase where you can easily be woken up, but you're still relaxed in form. You're starting to move. This is kind of our programmable state with ourselves, where you can have your affirmations, or you can have your regular talk of where you want to go, setting your GPS dial of like who you want to connect with or what space you want to go to. The same with that. Then you move through theta and then delta and then that REM state. But once you're in that delta and REM state, your brain waves are very highly active, but your body and the muscular system is very, very relaxed. It's like turned off. The body is turned off, but the mental interaction in the brainwave state is actually very similar to our waking world. And so you're having regular interaction in that place. So start first in that theta brainwave, or that kind of like in between where so there's alpha, theta, delta, and then REM. So when you're in that alpha, you can give yourself direction and moving deeper into the theta, where you're just super, super relaxed and you're almost hearing it from the internal state. If you've ever done mantras and you've said them out loud, you can start by stating something out loud. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. This is who I'm meeting up with. And then when you stop saying it out loud, you still hear the repetition or the echo in the mind. And you can kind of program yourself moving into that theta state where your body is so relaxed, but it's still hearing the internal dialogue of where you're going, who you're interacting with. It's a great way to utilize your dream space and to have more interaction with this. You can also do that when you're waking. There's that precognitive state a lot of times when you're coming out of REM that's moving you back through the stages if you don't have such an abrupt waking. And in that space, a lot of times people have interactions with non-physical or a lot of astral traveling or things like this, that they're able to direct more, lucid dreaming, that they're able to direct more. You can also do it there, where you feel like you're able to tell yourself, I want to bring this back into 3D with as much assimilation and integration as possible. I want the manifestation to integrate fully into my 3D experience, or whatever it may be, if you're wanting the manifestation to happen sooner. There's a sense of utilizing that space and integrating it with your waking life. It's a great way of manifesting and utilizing those multidimensional realms into your regular waking 3D life. So I hope that was helpful to you. It was kind of an open, broad topic, but may your dream space be plentiful. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's a beautiful space. You can set boundaries if you feel like you need them, but you can also utilize it to move forward and give you a sense of momentum and things that you want to bring into fruition in your life. So I hope that blesses you. You guys have an awesome, awesome week. We'll be back here next week with another video.